Yo, what's up, man? So, I was talking to my wife last night. Man, last night was a long day. A good day, a great day, a productive day. But ended up staying late at the gym. Came home, and I was talking with Brianna, and we were talking about coaching and training. So I've pretty much returned to coaching at the gym a couple times out of the week. And we started talking about deadlift, and we started talking about swings. And I was asking her how she was liking the training, how she was liking the coaching, because she came to my 9 a.m. session that I taught that morning. And she was like, man, it was just really different. It was super simple. She said one of the things that I really like about the deadlift and the swing is that there's no flailing. Her words, there's no flailing around on the floor. I'm not jumping around. I'm not doing anything. I feel safe, but and it almost feels like I'm not doing a lot. But then after 10 minutes or so, she can feel the muscles working, as she says, and everything's starting to come together. And so one of the things we're going to be kicking off here for 2022, I'm just so freaking excited, man. It's going to be dope AF. This is going to be something we're going to be offering both online and also here at Hardstyle in person. And I can't give away the details yet, but just know something badass is coming, okay? And I'll be letting you know about it here on the channel. So I've been revamping our entire curriculum. So here at Hardstyle, we have a curriculum. You're not just going to go through these random workouts, okay? You're not going to go right into a training program or anything like that. We've got a very specific curriculum, standards that you've got to meet to be able to do a training program, right? You have to earn your training, okay? You have to earn the training. And I'll get more into that in a little bit. But I've been pretty much revamping the whole entire curriculum. This is going to be awesome. And so this is something that I'm taking our students through at our 9 a.m. session and then our 5:30 session. And we're just doing this a few times a week. And she's like, man, I'm really loving it. It's just super simple. And what we've been focusing on is just the basics, the fundamental deadlift, squat, and then eventually kind of progressing to the swing. But a huge, huge part of the curriculum is the deadlift. Mostly with kettlebells, right? Because I think the kettlebell is just the best way. In my opinion, the kettlebell is the best way to learn how to lift. Right? Because it's safe. You can really work on the pattern of the deadlift. It's going to help teach you how to squat, right? With the goblet squat. It teaches you so many fundamentals and really helps get the patterns down. Okay. And it's, quite honestly, it's less intimidating for some people, right? Less intimidating for some people. They look at that I can pick up that little thing, right? Versus you taking someone right into the barbell deadlift. That I can totally see how that could be intimidating for some people, right? They think, again, it's going to hurt their back, whatnot, right? And we talked about this in the previous episode. And one of the things that we've been finishing our session with, and keep in mind, these sessions, there's not a program or anything in there. These sessions are skill and practice focused, okay? And we've been ending each session with, I guess what I would call emotional control based training. Okay, emotional control based training, which is using things like breathing ladders, breath holds, visualization drills as we're training, right? And then during our recovery times. And man, they're feeling like they're getting one of the hardest quote unquote workouts they've ever had, but it's actually more simplified. But the results have been killer, from a learning standpoint, right? They're learning where they're keeping and holding all of their emotions. They're learning how to better control that, how to control that panic response. And at the same time, they're getting stronger. And that's kind of what I wanted to that's the topic of today's episode, is the reason you or people are not seeing progress most of the time is because you're, here come the air quotes, working out. Working out is just a very common thing. Like, hey, I'm going to go work out, right? But here's a problem with the workout. There's no skill focus. You're learning nothing, right? You're literally learning nothing. Okay, so a workout is simply just to burn calories, which really shouldn't be the focus of your strength training and whatnot, right? Now, I'm not against burning calories or anything like that. I'm just saying that should not be your focus. That should not be your intention. Like, you know what? I'm going to go work out today because I got to burn so many calories so that I can be in this deficit or something like that, right? If you focus on skill, if you focus on making it a practice, because you're going to be learning by default, you'll burn calories. But when you shift to this calorie burn mindset, and the marketing is all over the place, I'm guilty of talking about that stuff from time to time, is do this workout to burn maximum calories. Like, that shouldn't be your intention. Okay. So a workout pretty much serves, the only purpose is to get you tired, to burn calories, right? The end outcome, there's really no goal attached to it, right? There's no end outcome for it. It's just burn calories. And that's, honestly, as I look back, that's why I crashed and burned in the first week of this daily deadlifting, because I was actually approaching the strength training, my deadlifting, almost as a workout. I didn't intentionally, like, I'm going to work out with the deadlift, but as I look back, it's like I was kind of like working out, right? I'd set a timer, and then I would go through a ladder, and then I would do that ladder as many times as I could with good form and whatnot. But I was like, you know what? That's actually workout focused, not skill with an intention focused. And as I look back of all my training, once I got better at deadlifting, all of my training cycles had a very specific purpose. Every repetition, every lift was strategically planned to produce an end result. And so when I first opened my gym over 10 years ago, there was a mantra, there was a saying that we had. And this is just something that, I don't know, God spoke into me. And it was, earn your training. That was actually one of our first shirts. One of our first shirts, it was a hard style shirt, and it just said, earn your training on the front. And so you have to earn the right to snatch that kettlebell. You have to earn the right to clean and jerk. You have to earn the right to work your way to the barbell deadlift. And I see too many people, and I made this mistake. Again, sometimes you just don't know any better. Start getting into kettlebells, and then by the second week, they're already doing double kettlebell snatches and clean and jerks or whatnot, when they have no foundation. They have no skill. Their deadlift is just not there, right? They don't know how to breathe, which is one of the biggest things we've been focusing on in this new curriculum set, is learning how to breathe. Right? I believe it was either Pavel or Brett Jones. I'm not sure who said this, but it's so true. If you don't control your breath will control you. And I know this to be true with my background in jiu-jitsu. If you can't stay calm, if you can't control your emotions in the heat of the battle, like jiu-jitsu, you have this 200-pound guy or less trying to choke you out. You're moving your body weight, you're moving his body weight. And if you get caught in a bad position, like, you can't panic. You got to stay composed. Right? And so people don't know how to breathe. They're breathing into their chest and they're working out and they're wondering why they're not seeing progress. It's because you're working out. So we had this concept of earn your training, right? Which requires a few things. It requires 3 key things. When you take this like earn your training approach, this requires skill. Most importantly, it requires intentional practice, which leads to consistency. Right? I talk about this so many times. Like probably one of the things I talk about most is just being consistent. And that's my word for the year of 2022. And that's why I'm deadlifting every single day, right? What's the adage? If something's important, do it every day. Well, to me, the deadlift is important to me. I'm obsessed with this thing. I'm obsessed with mastering this thing. I'm obsessed with getting to 320. So that intentional practice, when I made that shift to variability, the variable overload method, I'm able to focus my attention, intentional practice, and that leads to consistency, and consistency leads to long-term results, right? So when you focus on earning your training, it requires skill, it requires intentional practice, and it requires you to be consistent with your training to show up versus just trying to lose weight. Because when you show up with this workout mentality, you go in, you work out, you get your ass kicked, quote unquote. Like, you shouldn't be coming to strength training to get your ass kicked. Like, if you want to get your ass kicked, go to jiu-jitsu. Or go do boxing or whatever, right? When you approach with this workout mentality, you're gonna be crazy sore. You're gonna be so sore you almost won't be able to perform very well the next day. I remember one of our first students, Patricia. Shout out to Patricia, SFG. She remembered she did our first little trial. She came in the second day. She was like, well, I wasn't going to go the second day because she was just crazy sore, right? She hadn't really been active, and we didn't really do a whole lot. We learned how to deadlift. I was trying to teach her how to squat, just basics, earning her training. And she was like, well, maybe, I remember she told me, she was like, I figured I'm so sore, but I'll show up and he probably won't have me do anything anyway. Like, he'll take it easy on me. And no, we still focused on our practice. We made a pivot. We started focusing on the get up. We started focusing on learning how to shift weight. And again, all skill focused. All because you change the mindset of training, right? But if you go crazy hard in the paint, balls to the wall, you're going to be so sore, you're going to miss a day or 2, and then 2 turns into 3, and then a week, and then a month. And before you know it, you're not consistent. And the reason why you're probably not seeing the results that you want is because you're working out. And the third thing that earning your training does is it requires focus. Okay, it requires focus. And I talked about this in episode 7, I believe it was, right? What you focus on grows. As Dr. Jeffrey M. Schwartz put it in his book, You Are Not Your Brain, the power is in the focus. In Strong First, we call this dominata, the dominant thought. Hebb's law, quantum Zeno effect, grease the groove. This is all the science. This is everything where it all comes from, but it all starts with that focus. And so earning your training requires those 3 things, or it leads to those 3 things, I would say, right? It leads to skill practice. It leads to intentional practice. You have to focus on what you're doing. You're not flailing around on the ground. And as a result, you'll be more consistent with your training. You'll actually look forward to your next strength training session, right? And that's one of the things that Brianna told me when we were talking, and she was talking about the flail on the ground. She was like, this is why no one likes exercise, because of like just how crazy intense. It's just too workout focused. So working out is not aligned to a goal or an outcome. The only goal is to work yourself out, I believe Pavel put it. And he made a good point. He said, in the Russian language, there is no word for a workout. Same thing in Spanish. I was talking to my wife last night. I was like, is there a word for workout in Spanish? And she was like, no. Like, it's exercise, right? Ejercicio, right? Or I think, if my Spanish is not failing me, entrañado con pesos. Con pesos. Training, strength training with weights. Those are the words. There's no such thing as workout. If I butchered the Spanish, don't hammer me in the comments so much. That's pretty much all I got, man. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate your comments and all that kind of stuff. And I'll keep you posted on what we've been doing. We've got some special announcements we're getting ready to kick off here in the next month or so, all around this new curriculum and how you can potentially work with us here at Hardstyle. So that's all I got, man. If you want to know how to take your deadlift to the next level, grab a free copy of our deadlift playbook. Inside, I cover 3 plays to help you take your deadlift to the next level without training like a power lifter, using assistance exercises, training with a belt, any of that stuff. All right. So appreciate you watching. See you on the next episode. Peace.